Hey out there, this is Ash from Revocation, and this is my rig rundown. So what we got for drums, I'll start with the drums. We got a Tama Birch Babinga Star Classic kit. Got 10, 12, 16-inch toms, 14-inch snare drum. The snare drum is a Sound Lab Percussion SLP nickel-plated brass. So it's 14 by 6.5 deep. It's got a great crack to it. They don't make Babinga with these drums anymore, so now it's more of a birch walnut type of thing. So you won't really see drums like this nowadays. But this finish is a tobacco brown burst, I believe it is, and it actually melds really, really well with our latest album cover for Nether Heaven. So we didn't plan it that way, but it sure looks great. I first got this kit when I first joined Revocation in 2015, so it's served me well for a good 8 years and counting. So that's about it for the drums. The cymbals are Sabian cymbals. So I got 3 crashes there. This is 18, 20, 19. HHX and AAX, those are my preferred brands. They're kind of soft, but they also project and they create a nice wash. They're really good for accenting. They're not too stiff sounding. HHX groove hats because I like to groove. This is a 22-inch AA Rock Ride, which I've had for ages now. Daniel from Arch Enemy I first saw him use this. I love the bell. It's really great. And yeah, the Chad Smith 19-inch Holy China AA. Great, excellent china. Oh yeah, and splashes. AAX and another AAX. And so that's it for the splashes. Tama pedals. Evans drum heads. So these are the G2 clears, EQ3 batter heads, and then the snare drum skin. This is my preferred drum. So it's a hybrid head. So it is Kevlar and carbon fiber. So what you sacrifice for maybe a little bit of tone, you really, really make up for in durability. So it's a great, like, just throw it on and it'll last you for an entire tour of just like, you could play 40 or 50 hours on this thing and not break it at all, and it'll still sound pretty good at the end of it, because it's just, I mean, it's damn near bulletproof. So that's my preferred snare head. And geez, what else we got here? I guess I'll move on to, well, I got my Vic First sticks. Look at that. These are 3As. So there's a little bit more weight towards the barrel tip. So I like that there's weight towards the front of the stick, so when I initiate a stroke, it has a little bit of forward momentum to it. I prefer the wood tips as well. And yeah, I really, really like these sticks. Got a little bit of grip tape on there as well. And then, yeah, now I'll move just to the electronics side of things. I've built this sort of setup, which you can't really see because it's buried under cables at the moment. But I built it up to basically replace my need for a drum monitor. So I got just a little mixing. Here, let me try and pull these back a little bit. So just a little mixing board here. I got my triggers, which is a 2-box trigger, and this is a Yamaha EAD10 unit. So I'll show you how that works. Basically. Into my mixer, I've got my trigger line, so I can hear my kick drum. I got a splitter for the snare drum, which is another cool tip for you drummers out there. If you want to have kick and snare in your head, which are, you know, arguably the more important things for a drummer to have, you can just plug this into the snare mic, and then have your own line going to your mixer. And then the other one is for front of house, so you can get a little bit of snare in your ears. The trigger is also in your ears. I have the click track, and if you want, you can have the click track with, you know, scratch guitars or whatever. And then I also have this, the EAD10, made by Yamaha, which I'm not a Yamaha endorsee, but this is just a really cool little unit. So it's got 2 pencil condensers inside. So you just slap it onto your kick drum. It's also a trigger, but I don't use the trigger portion. But it's essentially a microphone. So you can just slap it right on your drums here, and then the cables will connect to this little box, and this box applies processing, which is like you can apply compression, reverb, a whole bunch of different things to sort of suit your sound, and it will make you sound like you're playing in an arena, even if you're playing in a tiny little club, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty neat little unit. So, and yeah, the pedals that I use are Tama Speed Cobras. So they got a little bit of a longer footboard. I've always preferred a chain-driven pedal as opposed to a direct drive or a strap drive. Strap drive's cool, but I prefer the chain. And I got pearl beaters on here just because I like the weight to them. Plus, that's how I started playing, was with like pearl beaters, so that's just what I'm sticking with. And a little bit of grip tape just for the, the footboard to shoe connection. And speaking of the shoe, actually, hey, look at that shoe. This is a Vratum shoe made out of Florida. My good friend Thomas makes these, and yeah, they're a great purpose-built drum shoe. They got like, you see the grip on the bottom, just good. I don't know, good just pedal drumming kind of grip. It's kind of like a tennis shoe, but it's a little bit, I like a bit more robust, I guess, of a shoe. And I like these. They're great, super comfortable. And then I'll move on lastly to just like my little in-ears that I have. So these are custom molded in-ear monitors made by 64 Audio. So I just got these. This is my second tour with them. And yeah, they just basically look like this. It's a mold of my ear. Little mold of my ear right there, and they got drivers inside them, which are just like tiny little speakers that occupy a high, mid, or low frequency. And these are the A6s, I think they are. And they've been great, So what I mentioned before with my mixing rig or whatever, and my kicks, my snare, all that stuff, that just comes in through there in my head, my click track and everything. So that's pretty much my drum sound. I just throw it up and I'm ready to go. I don't need a drum monitor. So that saves time when you're just, if you're on tour with a band and you're not headlining, you don't get a sound check or whatever, to just have a quick 15-minute changeover. The 2 minutes it saves you, those 2 minutes can really, make or break sometimes in a changeover situation. So thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you out there on the road.